Here we go, Barflies. Welcome to the Barfly Tailgate Show. You already know it's live. It's done by Barflies, for Barflies, and all the other Bears fans out there. Yo, so we got some football yesterday, boys. You know, I guess you could say that, you know, the first team kind of looked like shit and whatever, right? I mean, 5 straight 3-and-outs, but we'll get into all that stuff. And then we'll get into, you know, game speed and how the new Prince took on the game and everything like that. But let's introduce these boys, kick this thing around. Let's start off with Mr. Ryan Badgley, Badge of Honor. Badge, what's up, brother?
Yo, man. Chilling, man. Freaking been a great weekend. It's Sunday. We had some Bears football. And man, we're back. Another Sunday, another Barfly Tailgate Show. Excited to get everybody in the chat. You know, we want to get your thoughts too on yesterday's game. So, you know, hop in the chat if you want to get on with us. You know, let us know, man. We'd love to, if you were in the stands, let us know. We'd love to get your thoughts and hear what you guys have to say as well, because, you know, I think from where we were all sitting, you know, I mean, for a first preseason game, I don't think there's really, can you complain? Sure. But if you're complaining, you should just be enjoying yesterday, man, because you know why? It don't mean shit. It's improvement. It's getting better. And, you know, hopefully what that means for us is that come week 1, this team will actually come out maybe firing on all cylinders instead of, you know, taking a minute here to get their shit together.
Yeah, speaking of, you know, somebody taking a minute to get their shit together, KB is back in the house.
I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I had to join on my phone for a second just to get this damn computer back working. I'm too early for this shit.
Sorry, man. I had to. It was just a perfect segue. I mean, you know, into it. KB, what's good, brother? How you doing?
I'm doing all right, man. I don't know what I missed. Screen froze. I heard y'all talking, and then it just cut out. And I was like, "Oh, okay. I guess I'm doing this from the phone until my laptop starts back over." So, yeah, I don't know. I don't know where we're at right now.
No, man, it's all good. We're just kicking it around on the intros, and Badge was talking about the offense and, you know, getting their shit together, and then boom, right when he said it, you popped in. So I had to come back over.
I'm doing what Justin Fields did yesterday. I'm starting a little bit slow, you know, but we gonna get into the flow of the game. And I'm gonna kill it in the second half. Just know that.
All right. I can deal with that. And last but not least, we got the bearded Bears fan, Mr. Aaron Current, the Kentucky kid, AC in the place to be. There's so many things I say when you come on, but whatever. What's up, brother? How are you?
The man of many nicknames. What's going on, fellas? Went to bed last night after watching that awesome game, and I'm still excited for Justin Fields, even more so than I was before we drafted him. And woke up today. My wife's going to brunch with her friend, and it's going to be like a high of 75 here in Kentucky today. So I got a little crispness in the air, and it feels like football season, fellas. And I'm pumped for it. I'm here for it.
Man, I was waiting for that Kentucky weather report. You know what I mean? I knew it was coming. I just, was waiting to see how you're going to plug it in. So yeah, let's go over. I mean, everybody kind of started it and kind of said it. If you, for everybody in the chat, if you were at the game yesterday or whatever, throw your thoughts out there. Tell us what you think. I don't know. Maybe we'll even add one of you guys to the show today. See what hear what you saw firsthand. It was a start. It was a slow start. I think it was 5 3-and-outs, right? And just a little bit of just a little bit of trying to get into the game. You even seen, when, and I know I'm kind of jumping around, but even when Fields first came in, there was penalty after penalty after penalty, right? And people jumping off. I think Wims was that's probably I think it was Wims, but probably the quickest he's ever moved. Yeah, probably quickest he's ever moved.
Ran his ass right off the roster yesterday is what he fucking did.
Yeah, but there was a lot to break down and get into. I think there was some really good play calling once things started. The flow of the game kind of took over, and the defense looked pretty fucking stout, man.
Robert showed up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, besides, I think there was one play that I was a little upset with, but it might have been still with me too. The beginning of the game, right? Ogletree on the sidelines there, and I think it was the first drive. Kind of just gives up on the play. He thought the dude had come out of bounds, and he's like real slow to turn around, real slow to get him. But then he makes up for it in a goal line stance where he kind of splits the gap and fucking blows him up in the backfield. But KB, let's come to you, dude. What's your thoughts on the game? What'd you see? I guess let's start with Dalton and the ones, right? I mean, there was only 2 series. Let's start with Dalton and the ones, and then we'll get into Justin Fields and everything. So over to you, dude.
All right, man. What I saw, it started off real, like we said, it started off real sluggish, especially on the offensive side of the ball. Dalton came out for his first 2 series, and offense didn't really go anywhere. A-Rob didn't play. I seen Mooney was out there for a little bit. Then we had the one scary moment where Demo kind of went down after a run. He walks off to the side, kind of hurt, and it's kind of an eye-opening moment because you don't want to lose your starting running back. But those first 2 series, it was something you got to see. You got to see the depth, which is fucking amazing right now, running back. Damien Williams is electric. You just seen it a few times. He carried the ball. He gets out of that little scrum and he's up the sideline, and it's like that. It's quick. Khalil Herbert. Oh my God. The kid looks like David Montgomery running the damn ball. You drafted 2.0 of him. Khalil Herbert is gonna be the real deal. You want to get into it with Andy Dalton. I mean, he came out, he made the little passes he made. He took what the defense gave him. He didn't do anything that we would sit there and say, oh my God, Andy Dalton is amazing. He did what he's supposed to. Come out, got the ball out of his hands quick. You seen the pass over to the flat to our boy Cole Kmet. Scary moment there too.
Yeah,
glad my man was cool but that fake, can't even call it a fake. That failed hurdle where he went up and my man hit him and I seen his leg extend. The first thing in my head was, oh my God, it's gonna be a broken leg.
I know.
I was at work panicking, but then he gets back up, man. I mean, offense started slow. It's what happened. Like I said, Dalton came in. He didn't do anything spectacular. He just got the ball out quick. I mean, and everybody was kind of ready for the man to come in at that point. So,
yeah, you're right. Montgomery had one handoff, right, and then the next one he's like starts limping, and I'm like, oh shit,
like, oh no,
what are we doing, right? And then Kmet leaves his feet when he's so much bigger than this dude and could just plow right through him. But, you know, and he even said in the interview a couple minutes later or however many minutes it was after that, like, yeah, I thought I got that out of my system last year, but obviously I didn't, you know, and he knows he ain't supposed to be doing that shit, but, you know, he did. Yeah, and Dalton was whatever. Dalton, I don't think we all like expect anything from him. I think we all know he's a viable, like, he'll be fine, right? But it's just you're not going to see any fireworks. You're just going to see move the ball down the field type of thing, which we didn't see because I mean the 3 and outs. But I don't think there was anything crazy there, right?
No.
I was pretty impressed with the offensive line throughout the whole game.
Yes.
0 sacks given up, right? There was some pressures, but pocket got moved and this and that. And I thought they were pretty impressive. And then a lot of the rookie standouts, like you were saying.
I was going to say, Elijah Wilkinson played left tackle the entirety of the game. That kid deserves a hand clap. Even when he got beat, I know we'll get into it on the touchdown run. Even when he got beat, he stayed with the guy and still had hands on him. And that's big. And it's I'm not here to take shots at anybody, no player, but you know when Leno got beat last year, it was the guy he was standing there looking at the guy come at the quarterback. To see that type of effort being given, Elijah Wilson trying to stay with whoever the hell he was guarding. Yeah. It was a nice look. It was a real nice look. And like I said, 0 sacks given up. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I do agree with Mule here, where he said, you know, the Bears looked lethargic with the red rifle in his brief stint. They did, and honestly, I think that's where, like I was kind of just saying, I think that's why we got some of those penalties when Fields first came in, because it seemed like everybody wanted to play a little harder for him.
Maybe it's jittery, and you're just like ready to go, and then the next thing you know, you're jumping off sides and false start and
fucking Williams.
Yeah,
plus it's a different cadence. They talked about that on the broadcast. The different cadence between, you know, the voice is different, and you got to get used to how they say go, or it could be just small little differences. From one quarterback to the other. I guess I'll just take over here and give my thoughts about what I saw from the starters. Everything KB said, ditto to that. Wilkinson and the O-line, I thought played really well, especially after that game. I watched I was going to watch the Broncos game because I got an Army friend who was a Broncos fan. And he kind of texted me updates. I guess Drew Lock did okay. But the next time I was able to actually watch, it was the Saints and the Ravens. And their O-lines looked awful when I was watching them both. And I was like, wow, maybe our O-line's not as bad off as I thought they were, because they kind of held their own. Now, I mean, they're going against different teams, and there's a bunch of different variables there. But it made me feel good, to be honest. And then our starting defense, or the guys that were out there, I thought they were playing hard. You know, like I said, we saw Robert Quinn, and I mean, you got DHC come through again in the clutch and kept him out of the end zone, which was really dope. You know, he just cut right in front of that and was like, I'll take this, that was nice. And, you know, Justin Fields came in and did his thing after that, and I'm excited, man. And I guess we lost KB again.
Yeah, he threw something on the side chat, said he's going to switch back over to his computer. I think he was on his computer, and then it did like a mandatory restart, which is why he froze. So now he's switching back over. Badge, over to you, man. What's your thoughts on the you know, I guess just the first couple series, you know, defensive side, offensive side of the ball. I think obviously all of us have been a little more focused on the offensive side, but there's a lot that happened on the defensive side too that was you know, telling or just good signs, man. What you got, Badge?
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think defensively, I thought, you know, they at first I think everybody was jittery at first. Both teams were the 3-and-out to start the game. But then the Dolphins were able to move the ball, pretty well. They just couldn't, they were able to get into the end zone and one time, but they had another drive too. I had the pick. Defensively, I think our front seven is probably going to be one of the best in the NFL. I like to see the consistent pressure. Were guys getting home? Okay, no, they weren't super getting home, but they were getting close, which for a first preseason game, I think is a good sign. I think the defense, I think they really believe they're not talking anymore. They want to go out and show that they're as good as they were a few years ago. And, I really believe, I think the starting front seven is just, like I said, going to be outstanding. I thought Kendall Vildor played very well. I thought Duke Shelley played very well. In those spots, the safety position.
Bush had Deion Bush, that first drive, man, he had two of the big plays on that first drive.
Yeah, he had two big plays.
Yeah.
But then he left, and I don't know. I didn't see anything if it was a serious injury or not.
He came back. Because I remember he got hurt on that tackle.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
He was fine.
Yeah. I mean,
okay.
Granted, we didn't have all the starters there on the defensive side of the ball, but I think most of Chicago would echo your thoughts that the front seven is just fucking beast mode, man. I mean, even the rookies, Tonga. I mean, all the guys that are all the guys that are in there, man. They were there to play, and they're playing for each other. There's a lot of you don't see like that the cockiness or whatever, but and there was a little celebrating here and there, right? I mean, maybe there was. I mean, I forget who it was. It might have been Ogletree, but Ogletree came out, like I said, minus that first play, that out of bounds play where he kind of looked. I think he thought the receiver went out of bounds, and he kind of turns around, puts his hands up, and the dude's still running down the sidelines. Besides that, outside of that play, dude, I thought Ogletree played great.
I thought he did too, but I'm seeing people on Twitter saying he should take Danny T's spot.
No.
I'm sorry, guys. He's playing really good football right now, but no, he's not taking fucking Danny Trevathan's spot.
Let's not forget, Ogletree was a free agent.
Yeah.
Had like 0 visits going on, right? Came to Chicago to hang out with his boy Quinn.
Yes.
Went to Hallis Hall with Quinn to work out, started talking to one of the coaches and was like, well, yeah, I haven't really worked out for anybody or whatever. And the Bears are like, well, fuck it. Basically like, hey, you want to stay here?
Yeah.
I mean, like I'm cooking dinner. You're already here. I got extra. Like, do you want to hang out? And he's like, yeah, sure. And like that's fucking like kind of how it went if you look into the backstory of it all. But
you want to do karate in the garage? He's
like, look at all this fucking space for activities we have.
So much more activity.
We got job applications in the back. You owe.
Yeah, and I mean that's kind of how he ended up. But I don't think he doesn't replace Trevathan, but he is a solid pickup for this team and a solid veteran presence.
He'd be good on third downs.
Yeah, as a cover linebacker.
Well, so
he's always been a good cover linebacker, though.
He's always been a good cover linebacker. It bugged me that he tried to cheat the route yesterday because he wanted to cheat the route to make a pick. And he totally got toasted, but he made up for it and with the goal line stop, and they only end up coming away with 3. But since we're talking about new acquisitions, we might as well just get this out of the way right now. Jason Peters is now a Chicago Bear. He's 39 years old. Him and I think, weigh about the same.
Hey, remember yesterday I said the same thing? You know what I wanted to send you yesterday when we started talking about this was the Bad Boys clip where it's like, how old are you? It's like, motherfucker, you look 30. The first thing I thought of was
hilarious, dude.
That was the first thing I thought of. And I'm like, I seen it come through, right? And I'm like, isn't this motherfucker like 40? I'm like, I think that was like my first response to all you guys.
That That's
But,
what
like-
everybody in the military says about Bobby when he shows up. Ain't this
Yeah,
motherfucker like
Like
40?
this crusty motherfucker's like 40. Like,
He still works here.
yeah. And
Tired yet? The fuck you doing?
I know exactly. And like, dude, so I think like it's depth, right? It's veteran depth, it's presence. I'm glad they did it.
Nagy said he's coming in.
Nagy didn't say that.
For the starting left tackle spot.
Well, yeah, but I mean, why did he have to come here? Because all the
'Cause
fucking
we ain't got
injuries that we
nobody.
have. Yeah. And
Right.
and this was something that should have been handled a long time ago. And like we said last week, we have no true before now, we have no true left tackle on this team. Just a bunch of guys that fucking analysts and fanalists and fucking, dickhead fucking whatever are like, oh, he's gonna be a left tackle. Says who? Like, like one to draft a kid and bring him into the NFL who's been a right tackle, or even a guard. This kid's made like his dreams, you've basically he's got drafted. And so there's a lot of pressure on it already for this kid to come in and prove what he did in college is worthy of the NFL at his right tackle or guard position. To then turn around and say, yeah, well, you got drafted. I know you played right tackle, but you're going to play left now. And good luck, kid, because we think you can do it. Like, that's one of the toughest positions in the league. Mm-hmm. So I thought it was wrong from Jump Street to try to put this kid at left tackle. And I think like Whitfield's saying here, I don't know if he needs surgery, man, but I think it's really telling that there's a lot, more problems going on with that offensive line than what we originally thought.
Yeah. Well, I think at the very least, he's a veteran presence that Tevin Jenkins, who's, as you just covered extensively, is basically learning a new position. Yeah. At the next level, so he can at least pick his brain. Like, oh, well, what'd you see on this play? He might not be out there practicing, but they all still watch film together, and they're all gonna. I mean, he's gonna be out there with the team.
Yeah, I like what Doug just said too.
Hitting sleds.
I think Doug's speaking for all of us. Like Peters will be Jenkins, to Jenkins what Dalton is to Fields. Sure. And that's like kind of what we said last week. There's nobody to teach him how to do the job right. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, hey, buddy, you're taking over. Here's your job. This is going to be it. And like where's the veteran presence?
Hey, shout out to Juan Castillo, though. I mean, the way this O-line played yesterday, these guys are out here busting their ass, and they're 7th-round picks and undrafted free agents, and Juan Castillo's got these guys ready to play. So, hey, between Jason Peters and Juan Castillo, if Tevin Jenkins can get healthy, maybe we've got a franchise left tackle.
I just hope that Peters can stay healthy, man, because Peters is an injury dude too.
Right. That's what I saw on Twitter was as soon as it happened, so there was some Bears fans that were like, hell yeah, we needed this. And then I guess some fans of the other teams that he's played with before was like, this dude's a penalty machine and he can't stay on the field. So
I think that's.
But then I saw something polar opposite that said he didn't have a penalty last year, but I don't think he played a full season. So
it's Twitter, man.
You're always gonna have. You're always gonna have fans. Fans of the previous team are always going to talk shit. I mean, they did it with Ifedi too, and Ifedi, came in and they're, I think he played well last year. Yeah. And he started and whatever. There goes KB. Here it comes.
Bro,
KB's back.
I'm so sick of this goddamn laptop, man. I'll put those things through the window. Like, I'm like, okay, I'm seeing Bobby with this face like this. And I'm like, why is he still like that? Oh, everybody else is frozen. Son of a bitch, man.
But I think like everybody's echoing. I think the O-line looked great, man, and I'm glad Peters is just another addition. Glad we finally have a left tackle that has some experience at the position. I just heard myself for a minute there. I don't know what happened.
That was me. I think the laptop finally caught back up.
Secondary. So for the secondary yesterday, I thought the secondary played all right. I think there was a couple times where they were out of spot, out of position, right? Xavier Crawford, man, there was a few times where just me watching, he had his back to the quarterback, got spun around and he was lost on a couple plays, right? I'm not saying he was lost for the whole game. There's a couple plays where he got turned all the way around, which everybody who's ever played DB knows that's like one of the worst things you can do.
Yes.
And he was just beat. And then I think the linebackers, they played well outside of Ogletree. There wasn't any glaring holes.
Jones back, man.
Yeah, somebody said somebody in the chat, I don't know where it was, but somebody said there was a lot of poor tackling yesterday. I didn't really like check mark the tackling as an issue yesterday. I don't know if you guys did.
I didn't feel like it was the worst thing.
Go ahead.
For week 1 of the preseason, I think that I didn't expect that, but I didn't expect him to come out, super good form or I think they did what they needed to do. I mean, they've been in pads, but think about it. Even though they've been in pads, I don't think they've been in pads hitting every day for the last week. It's kind of been sporadic. So, I think game 1 is that adjustment. I think you'll see is, next week is next week the dress rehearsal, since there's only 3. I would assume so.
I think they said that the third game was supposed to be the game where the ones play more. That's just what I had heard somewhere. I don't know if that's necessarily true or not.
I thought the third game would become the 4th game.
Yeah,
that's what I
felt.
Too. I felt
like nobody.
But I heard somebody say that the starters were going to play the third game. But I'm not trying to throw it out there as like that's a confirmed thing. That's just some shit I heard.
Yeah. I mean, I think
it makes sense because they try to make it seem like next week was going to be pretty much Fields versus Trubisky. If that makes any sense.
In my mind, I think next week you see Dalton play, maybe the first half, and you try to have the ones out there for their run through, and then Fields play the second half.
I'd love to see Fields get some run with the ones. I don't know if but if you really want to test this kid, you've got to see him against ones.
Against the ones, you mean, not with our ones?
With and against, because that's going to be everybody. He looked great yesterday, but then you've got to caveat that with but he was against backups. Now, granted, he was with backups, and how many times have we said this about other quarterbacks raising the play of those around them?
He definitely did that
yesterday.
Let's go ahead and just jump to Fields, man, dude. This kid looked so fucking poised.
Our guy Bart right here. If Justin keeps playing like the way he did in the second half, how can Nagy keep him off the field? I think it's a phenomenal question, number 1. And number 2, you can't. I mean, I know I've been saying it since he was drafted. He should be the week 1 starter. To me, there's no doubt in my mind that this should be the guy leading the organization from this point forward until he's, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't see a reason. I mean, honestly, I get it, man, and I get that we're all hyped on it and we're all on the Fields hype train, but I think this is different, dude. I think this is like the way that this kid just came in yesterday. There was no happy feet. There was no like
no.
The moment was not too big for this kid, and he just came in and he's like, whatever. Like let's go,
pillow, bro.
Yeah, and I mean, I know we got a part from his a clip from his interview, so let's drop that in here because I was like, hell yeah, like here we go. So here it is. He had his interview yesterday. Let's drop this in there real quick.
Justin, what was it like in your first game adjusting to that NFL speed as opposed to college?
It was actually kind of slow to me, to be honest. I think, I was expecting it to be a little bit faster, but, practicing, game speed, going at it with my teammates every day. And, of course, we have a great defense. So me going against them every day, it definitely slowed the game up a little bit for me. So, I felt comfortable out there, and I just, of course, I have room to grow. So I'm just going to try to get better each and every day.
Yeah, just that answer, right? Like, how was it adjusting to NFL game speed? He's like, well, actually, it was slow. I think there's a total different approach to even what the coaches see in this kid, because it was obvious that Mitch in his first years and in his pressers, this kid was just like given a sheet of what to say and how to answer questions. And he was so scripted, right? And they like
rehearsed with him before the game. Like, well, if they ask this, you say this.
And he was just so like, he's a leader. You could just see it, and he's just there ready. And the couple questions after that, they're like, how worried were you about that fumble, and whatever. And he's like, or no, they're like, were you worried about the fumble? And he's like, no. About like what Coach Nagy was going to say to you. And he's like, no. He's like, I mean, it was 3rd and 20 something. And he's like, but I've officially retired the spin move. And I was like, I wanted to pull that piece. Like, I've officially retired. I just started fucking spreading it out like wildfire, but I decided not to. But the kid he was just like all there, man, and just poised and ready to get it. Badge, go ahead, man. I know you want to hop in on this. What did you see from Fields and like Bart said, how can you keep him off the field? You're muted, Badge.
You're muted, buddy.
I mean, check your
I'm good now. Sorry, I'm doing producing and trying to get all this stuff done.
Preseason for us too.
Yeah. It's really hard to downplay your expectations when you see, he comes in that first couple series and it was almost like last season when the offense couldn't fucking do anything. The game started out that way and you're sitting there and you're kind of like, man, Jesus Christ, is this what it's going to be again? You can't get the offense going in the first half. Then you take a deep breath and you're like, okay, it's preseason, week 1. They probably didn't even have a full-on game plan. They probably just had, all right, we're going to run a few of these things. I mean, the rollback pass to fucking Jesse James, that's probably normally an in-season play that they pulled out for the preseason to try to do something fun and give, highlight for Fields, I think it's a great idea. But at the same time, I mean, what he did, even just handing the football off, taking that first snap under center, seeing those kind of things go effortlessly with the last high quarterback.
Sorry, Badge. Who the fuck is KB talking to?
Oh, he's got a party over there.
Dude, I just see you in the corner. Like,
I can see Bobby's eyes moving around. I was like, oh, shit.
I thought he was trying to chime in, and then I'm like, I'm not sure, but whatever he was saying, that shit was passionate. You know what I mean?
So as y'all know, my roommate's a Packers fan.
Yeah.
So we chopped it up about that. Then he's talking about baseball too, man. So we had said something about that just a few seconds ago. So I was like, they ain't gonna notice this real quick. But
you
yeah,
can't get
man.
away with nothing, KB. Bobby is.
I know, man. Damn laptop cutting off. Got to use goddamn computer.
Yeah,
the phone.
I'm here.
I'm over here rubbing my nipples. I'm like, oh, just feel.
That's in the
Everybody seeing
middle
it.
of a well thought out thing, and I could just see Bobby like a.
AC saw it too. I was like, wait, is he trying to talk right now? Is he not talking? Like, and then I put my head down I could see the square better.
Yeah. That's horrible. Everybody saying,
Badge, I totally agree, Badge. I think like some of those play calls were. I thought that rollout, that naked back, play that they ran. I thought it was a great play call, dude. And maybe they saved it.
We had our text thing on Twitter.
Yeah, our text thread. Maybe we can put that up too. I don't know if you have that, but yeah, I thought that was a great play call, and I'm sure we'll probably put it up here in a little while and talk about it. But just overall, like Dustin had said in the chat, you seen him rolling out, and he was like signaling receivers, like, "Hey, go back that way." And dumping it off, and just making plays, man. And they asked him about it. And he's like, yeah, sometimes plays break down. And you have to backyard football it. He's like, so that's what I did.
His fucking presser was so refreshing. To hear somebody beat what does Nagy say? Beat you? To hear him be himself and talk. Not the robotic, I'm gonna give you this because this is what you want to hear. No, I'm gonna tell you how I fucking felt. It was a lot of backyard football going on. The plays where he started to challenge the damn line and just stop and floats over. That's some Madden bullshit. That shit you see people do all the time. I got a fast quarterback. I'm gonna roll out and I'm gonna make you think I'm running up the field, and then I'm gonna use my player that's off in the flat to run up the field. And that's what you started to see. Mm-hmm. That's the interesting dynamic that the kid gives the football team that we know Andy Dalton can't do. It was the same thing between Foles and Trubisky. You know Trubisky run. You know Foles isn't gonna run. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm not gonna sit there and say Dalton won't take off because I believe Dalton will, because I feel like Dalton cares a little bit more than what Foles did. And I'm, like I said, not here to take shots, but I think Dalton is a little bit more of a gamer than what Foles is. But you just see how the team just the whole switch up happened. I'm one of the people that believe that first 15 plays was trash. I think once you got off the first 15 plays, you could even hear it on the broadcast. The flow of the offense changed drastically. It was more, like you said, it was backyard. What my man said on fucking Longest Yard. Let's do some backyard bullshit. We're gonna score. It's none of this. We're not gonna do this. Oh yeah, I'm gonna throw here. We're gonna do this. No, I'm gonna roll out. I'll make them think I'm gonna run because they know I'm faster than all of their asses. So I'm gonna run, but I'm gonna stop and I'm gonna throw this bitch right over their head. It's a beautiful thing, man.
And not only did he just, I mean, we saw Trubisky try and do some of that, but he would miss the throw. How many times do we see Fields? I mean, that even if he didn't complete the pass was right there for him. There's one route where it was right in the middle of the field where a guy had inside leverage on his corner and he threw it. It wasn't complete, but the ball was right there on the guy. And
that's the play that looked like the dude held him.
Yeah.
So here was our conversation via text thread as the game was going on, right? So Fields throws over to Jesse James, the backpedal into the end zone, right? And I throw in our group chat, hey, great play call there, right? And then AC says Mitch would have overthrown that ball. So we're all laughing and shit, right? And then Badge is like, Mitch would have hit Braggs in the stands. And then KB comes in with a fucking bomb of, yep, and Braggs would have dropped it.
KB off the top rope.
Just hit him with that elbow drop, and that was it. But Fields was actually even asked about that play. They're like, you know, when you seen Jesse James so wide open, did you have to like double take and look and see if somebody was in the area? Like, and he's like, well, I looked to see if there was somebody creeping, you know, or something like that. He said like creeping or laying back in the cut, which is proof that there is no fucking scheduled hair. Here's what you reply with, right? And he's like, I just looked to see if somebody, and he just looked so comfortable in the presser too. But he's like, yeah, I looked to see and I didn't see anybody, so I just let it go. You know, I
wonder if part of that is I hate to keep going back to Mitch, but that's what else do we have to go to it? Mitch went to North Carolina. You know what I'm saying? Justin Fields went to Ohio State and Georgia, who, as far as college football goes, you've got, I mean, it's like Alabama, Clemson, Ohio State. Yeah. You've got your big schools, and they have a lot of media around those schools too. So he's used to working with the media throughout his college career. Whereas North Carolina, let's be honest, it's a basketball school. I mean, because Jordan went there. So, they don't really. I mean,
and he was kind of the backup, you know, and he didn't have the pressure or none of that. I think you're right, though. I think the amount of interaction with media and this stage, you know, like one guy was performing at the fucking comedy club and the other one was on Saturday Night Live. You know what I mean? It's just, it's a bigger presence, and he's just more comfortable with the, you know, the ridicule and the praise. And he's just able to sit there and be like, yeah, like, you know, whatever. This is what happened. And I love the fact that, like, when the reporters try to direct him in a way in some of those,
he's got Barkus down.
Yeah. And they're like, well, aren't you worried about no, I'm not. Like
I
I was
think
like, fuck
Phil
yeah.
Barker said something about between him and Dalton trying to kind of
And Foles,
drive
yeah.
a wedge between them, and he was like,
Yeah.
"No, we have a great quarterback room." You know, he came up to me and he was, I don't remember exactly what he said, but he was basically like, "Yeah." He came up to me and was like, "Hey, it's your go, brother, and go out there and do your thing." And they have a great relationship, and that room's great. And I mean, what more can
Yeah.
you say about that?
Yeah. So
Right.
I want to go over something, and I want to throw it out there now, but so it was kind of mentioned, right? I think it was Hogan Johns mentioned it. Maybe it wasn't though, but what if so everybody knows that Foles is like on the trade block, right? I mean, I think that's pretty obvious that Foles is on the trade block or whatever.
Mhm.
What if somebody came knocking at the door for Dalton? Say, I mean, I think all of us know that, it's whenever Fields takes this team, it's not too soon, right? Whenever they
Right.
decide for him to take the team, I don't think it's too soon, whether it's fucking tomorrow or whatever. The only possibility is that it could be too late in our sense, right? And I think maybe it's, recency bias, but I think we're all okay with Fields taking over this team. What if somebody else came knocking on the door for Dalton? Would you be willing to have Foles as your backup? Then grab a young kid, from wherever. If somebody came knocking on the door for Dalton, are you trading him away? KB, kick it, man. What you got?
All right, man. To me, that's I'm not gonna say it's loaded, but that's kind of, what I'm saying, the damned if you do, damned if you don't. I feel like Dalton would be the best fucking backup you can have. I like the dynamic that you've seen with the two. The moment where he walks up to him and they dap each other up, basically, and it's right before Fields goes in. You can tell that shit's genuine. It's not, all right, man, I know you're here to take my job. Fuck you. It's all right, kid. I know why they drafted you. I know I'm just here to hold this spot and then hand it off to you.
Yeah.
He knows that, and he seems comfortable in the position. That being said, I'm more comfortable with Andy Dalton than I am with Nick Foles.
Me too.
Absolutely.
But if somebody would have to come along and offer something premium, you know what I'm saying? And when I say premium, I'm not saying first or second pick, because we know damn well that's nowhere near the price tag you're going to get for Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
But if somebody came up and said, hey, we'll give you a fourth this year and maybe a late round pick next year for Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
You got to kind of consider
You got to entertain it.
Yeah. And I mean,
Think
he's
about this for a second with Fields and sorry, Bobby. Let's finish your thought first, because I like the Dalton Fields relationship. So, and I'd rather have him than Foles, but at the same time, if you can get a draft pick back for a guy that the only way he's going to see the field is if Fields gets hurt, what's the point in keeping him around? You've got another veteran there. I mean, if something happened to Justin Fields, I do not like the idea of Nick Foles coming in. But to me, I don't know. I think I would do it for the draft pick, but it would make me. You're still old. You don't have a young quarterback now. This year of experience with either one of these guys is great, but at some point you've got to look for somebody that's capable behind him just in case.
Well, I think everybody, let me just fix. Maybe I said it wrong. I think everybody would rather have Dalton than Foles, right?
Yes.
I think across the board, fucking all of us would rather have Dalton than Foles. I'm just saying, I also believe other teams would rather have Dalton than Foles. So when they come knocking, they're not asking for Nick. They would be asking for Andy.
Dalton.
Yeah, and especially if this move is made next week or whatever, or before the season starts, and they're like, "Hey, Justin Fields is our starting quarterback." You have to be crazy if you think that somebody's not going to call and ask if you're willing to deal Dalton.
Right.
And I don't know, man. That's just kind of what I was going with on the fact of. Go ahead.
To me, it comes down to the mobility. If in this case you've got Fields as your starter, if he was to go down, there's 0%. I have no confidence whatsoever in putting Foles in that position to where he has to move around. And Dalton, while he doesn't have 4.4 speed like our guy Fields, he has the ability to move around. And so,
hey, do you guys want to see the play from Justin Fields yesterday? The passing touchdown, courtesy of our friend Greg Braggs Jr.
Oh, of course.
Fuck yeah.
Let me get this up here.
Yeah, I thought this was a great play call, man.
Is it just me or is it choppy?
No, it was choppy for me
too.
Okay, I was gonna say, bro,
choppy.
my phone's doing this now. I'm throwing everything out the window.
Yeah, no, it was choppy for me too, but it was a great play call, I think. And honestly, I don't think it works without the couple rushes before that and the rushing touchdown and the one play where he did the spin move and fumbled, right? I was like, fuck, come on. Like just go out of bounds, buddy. Like what are you doing? And then a couple plays later, you see him and he just dashes downfield and cuts out of bounds. And honestly, when he runs, dude, I mean,
so smooth, man.
Yeah,
he was even is just smooth, calm, and collected. This dude is
definitely.
My lieutenant, me were sitting there, and he sees him take off. I think it was like on the 25-yard run he had, and he just looks at him. He kind of looks at me, and he says, "That shit reminds me of Vic." I was like, "Yeah, kind of. It kind of does,
Russell
man."
Wilson. Everything about this reminds me of Russell Wilson. We heard Jimmy Graham talk about it. I think I talked about it after we drafted the guy. And they're talking about doing the Mahomes thing with him where he's got to sit and wait for his turn. I don't think you can sit and wait for his turn. I think he's Russell Wilson in it. He's going to go in there and grab this thing by the horns and take his job. We signed a free agent. That wasn't stupid money like they did with Matt Flynn that year in Seattle, but going in there and he's going to force your hand. If y'all watch Nagy's presser, he
changed his tune.
He's giddy about it too.
But
we're all giddy about it. He is too.
Don't you think that a lot of the Nagy and taking the time for the kid to develop thing was just to not put the pressure on your rookie coming in? Because I think so. Some of it I took as maybe he is gonna keep him there no matter what, right? And then on the second part of it, I was just to play devil's advocate. I was like, well, maybe he's just saying this so that Fields is like, there is no pressure. Like, I'm just going to go out and play. Like, I don't have to lead this team right now. I got time to develop. I got time. Instead of like, shit, I'm week one. I need to do this. I need to be the savior. I need to, and all that shit that comes along, the pressure that comes along with being the number one in Chicago, instead of letting him go out and play and proving to himself and everybody else that he should be the number one, and having that confidence to go in instead of having the pressure to prove. That's kind of
Bobby. I think they've handled this. They tried to do it this way with Mitch, and the person they brought in here, who I won't even say his long fucking name, to do that just wasn't the right. I mean, give me a fucking break. Mitch was set up to fail from the jump. But fuck Mitch. He's in Buffalo, whatever. Who cares?
We're going to see him next Saturday.
Yeah, but whoopee shit.
Give a handoff.
We know what he is.
He's going to be a third. He's going to be a third there too, though.
Yeah, I mean, right. So to me, though, Bobby, I like that they don't have it in. Not that he can't handle that pressure. I mean, number one, he went to Ohio State. Number two, he played in 2 college football championships and scored 6 fucking touchdowns against Trevor Lawrence and Clemson. Lawrence obviously another quarterback, but Clemson's defense, I mean, somewhat formidable. Yeah, they play in the ACC, but so to me, I don't think it's too big for him. I think I think, I mean, you saw Nagy in the presser yesterday. I mean, he's a different guy with this guy. I mean, his fucking balls are swinging in Chicago like they've never swung before. I mean, yeah, 2018, I'm sure they were, but, you know, he's a new coach, so he can't really flop them out on somebody's desk. Now he's fucking walking into Virginia's office going, hey, you thought these were good in 18. Look at them now.
Yeah. He's fucking with his balls in a wheelbarrow, pushing them in.
Yeah, dude. And I think for Fields, if they end up starting him week one, if they end up starting him week one, and the kid comes out against the Rams, who we all know they've got a stout. You know,
dude, Fields is massive. Like that's a big kid. He's what, dude, like 6'2",
I was texting you guys yesterday when he broke off that run, not the touchdown run, the run for the first down. Yeah. And I mean, the way he turned, I mean, I know he's 4'4". I get it. It's fast. But the way he just went past the two defenders before the other guy ran him out, I was like, come on. That's not even fair.
If that safety wasn't, I was gonna say that safety wasn't there to cut him off. He was going to hit his head on the goalpost, bro.
If it wasn't preseason, I think he drops his shoulder on that run, bro.
Yeah,
but that's worrisome. I get he's 6'3", 230. I don't want him running into people. I want you to get the fuck out of bounds and and go from there. But I mean, I think
he made the business decision. The other way, he scored that touchdown. He wanted whoever that kid was on the Dolphins to see his ass. He stopped, looked at him, and said, "I choose you. I'm gonna make an example out of your ass," and scored a touchdown. That's what he did to that kid. And dude just said, "What was I supposed to do? He's bigger than me."
Man, Whitfield in the chat just said they clocked him at 20.4.
They said that he ran faster than any Bears player in the past 2 years.
Wow.
Jesus.
Wow.
That's a lot because Cohen's fast,
faster
man.
than Cordarrelle on the kickoff last year. The kickoff touchdown.
Yo, speaking of kickoffs, and I know we're kind of jumping around. I know I put it on Twitter yesterday, but I don't like seeing 23 back there returning punts, man. I just get like excited, like something good's gonna happen, and this is fucking bullshit.
Well, that was my biggest concern about us was our special teams coverage and our inability to cover the tight end. If you guys watched it when Tua was out there, he was just locked in on those tight ends, and I don't know if that was because we had backups.
I'm not as concerned with the special teams thing.
I mean, Roquan wasn't in to cover the tight end, you know what I mean? But go ahead.
Special teams thing, I mean, they haven't really, it's their first real live action with, covering kicks and punts and whatnot. I think they'll have it ironed out, by week one.
That makes sense, man. It's a bunch of kids that's trying to make the team on it. I more likely not going to be there.
I still have trouble trusting Chris Tabor, to be honest. I mean, our kicking game seems to be ironed out, but is that him or is that just Carlos Santos doing his thing?
I mean, Johnson had a couple.
Came in and hit his too. Yeah, I think Aldo talked about this on the post game. I would not be opposed to keeping a kicker on the practice squad for the season.
Oh no,
I mean,
I mean, they did last year too. They just never used Pinheiro, right? But I think with the whole COVID protocol and all that shit and the possibilities, you still have, I believe, you still have the 5 extra spots. So I think you still have 15 on the practice squad. Keep a kicker there. Just somebody who gets the traceability and all that to where you can, if something happens, you have somebody there. Or you can go the second route and just say, fuck it, let's go for 2-point conversions at every play and wait another week. But that just wouldn't be, obviously not the game plan.
And just for shits and giggles, Cody Parkey's still dinging them all fucking uprights.
Did he hit one yesterday?
Got to see that gym yesterday.
We'll see him week 3.
But it went in. Fuck them.
Of course.
How the fuck does that guy got a fucking job? I like what Doug's putting a lot of gems in the chat right now, man. I mean, Herbert, Artavius Pierce. I mean, the running backs yesterday, all around. I mean,
That's a
you've seen,
deep room.
yeah,
Very
you've
deep
seen
room.
some of these running backs yesterday. Just they break free. They're getting upfield, man. And it wasn't any of this like scared running. It was kind of like they're just legs keep churning, and
Legs
then boom,
churning.
break it open. Break it open,
Mhm.
break it open, break it open. So I mean, I think that's a great room too. And you know what's available there and the upside potential, man, it's gonna hurt to see some of these guys go. I think right now we're at 90, right? Then we need to get down to 85 by
85.
Yeah, I think
by
cuts
next
are
week.
Tuesday.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so 85, 5 people are out, and then
I know one is gone.
then you're going down to 53.
Yeah, I think Kevin Fishbane tweeted something out like we need to cut, I think, five guys by Tuesday. And he's
Yeah,
like, I
and
think I know
then
who one of them is.
I mean, and then the next week though, you're getting rid of almost 30 more.
Yeah.
And that
Yeah.
last preseason game, like we were saying, that's gonna be where I think it's a full backup game. And that's gonna be where some of these guys make the team and some of them don't.
Yeah, the running back room to me, I think I said back when I was on the first time with the Irish Bears show, Kieran and Anthony, and we were talking running backs, and we kind of had forgotten about the running backs. Like we were talking about some other positions. I go, guys, wait a minute, we haven't even talked about the running backs yet, and how grabbing Damien Williams, and you had Cohen coming back, Artavius Pierce, who I'm a huge fan of Artavius Pierce, and
Yeah.
I hope he's a guy that he can at least stay on the practice squad. But I really like Artavius Pierce. To me, I know Ryan Nall again had a nice run yesterday.
Yeah.
And he has he's a huge contributor on special teams. He's a guy for that reason I could see making this roster because of the special teams and the fact that when he's been given an opportunity, he's played somewhat well. You saw it last year. Scored the touchdown pass.
Yeah, he's a preseason
on a
stud, man.
screenplay. No, well, that
Yeah.
was in season. That was his first
Well,
in-season
yeah.
touchdown.
Yeah.
But I think the special teams enough. I mean, I think sometimes it gets overlooked. But there's really some guys that have been on this roster just for their special teams, and then they've contributed in other ways. And I think Ryan Nall is one of them. Joel Iyebuniwe, Josh Woods. Those are guys who I think they make this team because of their special teams ability. And the hope is, okay, can we use them in other facets if needed? Alec Ogletree, he might be a guy that has to play special teams. Well, he hasn't done that in a while because, he's been a starter. Well, now what? So it'll be interesting.
I just think the numbers game is going to catch them. I mean, you've got Montgomery, we know is going to – I'm talking as far as running backs. Montgomery's making it. Cohen's going to be there. Williams is going to be there. And I think they keep Herbert because they just drafted the guy. So that's 4 running backs. And on a 53-man roster, I don't know. I just don't see Pierce Nall making the cut, to be honest. And in the linebacker room, I mean, they've given Iyebuniwe and Josh Woods plenty of chances to win those jobs. And then when they went out and signed Christian Jones and Alec Ogletree, to me, the writing was on the wall for those two guys as well. I mean, it may hurt us in special teams because they have less experience there, but I just don't see, as far as the number, I just don't see the numbers are there. You know what I mean? If you've got to make these cuts, and you've brought these guys in to basically replace these other people. I just don't see the numbers being there.
Yeah, I don't know if Nall has. I mean, granted, I think that he's been a good piece and at least a solid backup to this team and a good preseason guy, right? But I mean, now with Williams and Herbert, you got a lot of pieces back there.
Mm-hmm.
Williams, I mean, the dude opted out last season, right? He was opt out of COVID due to COVID last season because I think it's his mother had like stage 4 cancer, and he didn't even want to deal with the possibility of just being a cause for something, right? So he opted out last year. So, I mean, he's got, it's not like he's coming off of any like season wear down or anything. The dude's just ready to go. And I think that running back room is stocked, man. And that's going to be
really
a place
is.
That's going to be a place where we have to take cuts. And that's what I was saying. It's going to be
even
tough.
CJ Maribel, the kid from Coastal Carolina.
Yeah.
I mean, all those guys have potential to, really be a big benefit.
Yeah.
In the run game.
I think Maribel can be a practice squad guy, though. They were able to sneak him in as an undrafted free agent, so maybe they can feel like we can sneak this guy onto the practice squad if we don't show too much of him in the preseason, because other people may see, oh, this guy's got some pop, and then they might want to grab him. But I'm just trying to look here in the
kid,
chat.
that was drafted a couple years ago that they put on the practice
Kareth
squad
White.
in Pittsburgh. Kareth White,
Yeah.
that's right. I couldn't think of his name.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking of that yesterday as I was watching the game. I was like, man, could this dude be like the Kareth White of this season? Remember, Shane was a big fan of Kareth White, and they pulled him right up off of us. I'm just trying to look here in the chat and see what some of these guys. Doug Dyer's just on it today, man. He's talking about the best rooms, linebackers, running backs, tight ends. Tight ends, man. I mean, we see Jesse James is out here looking like Pittsburgh Jesse James. I mean, this was a guy that I liked a lot in Pittsburgh.
Oh, yeah. That's such an underrated signing, man.
Him and Ben Roethlisberger had a thing, and and he seems to be clicking with Justin Fields, which, I mean,
bonus.
More power to you. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
I really wanted to see a little more out of Komet yesterday, but I get that he, I think he only had 2 targets. One was the jump play. The other one was kind of deflected, and he's a first teamer, so he was in and out, right? But I think a lot, with Komet in the one interview that he had, I think it was like a week or 2 ago, after every practice, because Komet only is working with Dalton, right? So after the practice is over, Komet and Fields stay on the field, and they work on their timing and their plays together. And Fields throws balls to Komet. And from what it was kind of said was that Komet basically went to Fields and was like, "Look, dude, we're the future. Like, it's going to be me and you. Like, we're here together for the long haul. So whenever you want to get extra work in, if you're out there throwing balls, I want to be on the other side of it. I want to be on the receiving side of it." Which just says, like, that's some, when I first heard that, I was like, fuck yeah, like, here we go, like, why not? And it's just, I think the whole mentality around a lot of that is just like, they know when, it's just a matter of time. Like, when is it going to happen? When is too soon and when is too late? And it's a matter of time before this thing gets going. But I mean, look at some of these pieces. Look at the guys that we're talking about right now. Like that, it'd be sad to have them leave. Dude, like, we're talking about like undrafted free agents, and like, like, that's a good fucking problem to have. And
absolutely.
when there's,
Nagy said, Nagy's like, force us to make these decisions. Like, make these decisions hard for us. That's what they want. And I think yesterday was a great start to that for a lot of these younger players. And I think there could be some surprises for sure this season with cuts.
Those D-line cuts are going to be tough too.
But once they make the big roster cuts, I think you're going to be like, holy shit, this guy's been here for a little bit. I mean, look at a guy like Sherrick McManus. This was a guy who had been on the Bears since what? 2011, 2012, something like that. I don't know, a long time, right? They don't offer him a contract this year. Well, because he was primarily a special teamer, right? I
Mhm.
mean, he came in, he helped out on defense every once in a while. Pagano had some nickel blitz packages for him and whatever. But you can clearly see there's a change in their thought process and who should be on and who's going to make this roster, because I think in years past, oh, well, this guy's a contributor here. So yeah, let's give him give him 1 year offer. And if we don't see anybody else here in camp that, wows us, he's reliable. We know we can keep him around. But this year, I think it's going to be much different. Like we always do our roster breakdown. And I mean, holy crap. I think for the
Yeah.
first time in a couple of years, I was set with my roster probably by this game. Now, I mean, I don't even know. I'll still be dicking around with it by week 1, probably.
I mean,
Yeah.
we saw contributions from, like I was just talking about, the D line, man. I mean, you got Tunga who came in and played really well. They're talking about him in the chat. Pennell came in and he was doing his thing, and Angelo Blackson came in and he was looking good. Like when we first signed him, he was like, I think we talked about him on the show. We were like, I mean, he had some block kicks. I don't know much about this dude, you know what I'm saying? And he's just come out there and I honestly, before yesterday, because I think last week we were talking about D-line depth because Goldman was out or something, and someone was talking about moving Nichols back to nose tackle, and I was like, I don't think so. I completely forgot about Mario Edwards, and this is a dude who played pretty well last year, and he's come back.
So.
And I mean, we got some depth at this D line, man, and I'm these cuts are going to be tough. Doug Dyer in the chat is asking who our 5 cuts would be.
That's what I have up. I mean,
we know Williams, Williams, and after that, man, I mean. And can you cut old linemen? We're so down and
hell no, not right now.
I don't
you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I think somebody like maybe a Scooter Harrington. I know he had a catch yesterday. But your tight end depth, you've already got Cole, you've got Jimmy, Jesse James has really stepped up now.
Mm-hmm.
Holt is your primary your primary blocker. When they have a fullback in.
He might. I might. Host might have to go, man, because at this point, I'm probably keeping 3 tight ends, and
me too.
Jesse James is definitely on that list, man.
And maybe keeping Horsted on the practice squad again if I believe he still has eligibility. I mean, defensively, man. I think a lot of where you're going to see like your defensive cuts come from is you're going to see guys like
we have a ton of corners.
Yeah,
corners. So there's
it's a lot of DBs, bro.
Tease Tabor looked like he played well yesterday, and he's a guy who
he was even on the team.
He come out of Florida, and he was a damn good corner, and the Lions took him in the 2nd round, and he just couldn't do anything. He just looked lost and slow, and he, like in Florida, he was a playmaker. This dude was an interception machine. I mean,
I was gonna say he's supposed to be a top flight pick at corner,
right?
I remember when Tease came out because him and his partner was supposed to be good.
Yeah, they were both. I mean, Florida, they always got good DBs down there. We have to play them every year, and it sucks. But, I mean. And all of a sudden now he's making some plays. Doug Dyer's asking about Artie Burns. I don't remember seeing him even yesterday.
I don't think he played. He didn't look like it.
I mean, that might be one of your guys that the writing's on the wall, where it's just like I said, like we said earlier, the numbers game is going to catch up with some of these guys, and but it is going to be it's a difficult decision.
It's tough, man. I mean, I know Trey Roberson was out there. He's a guy who has CFL experience.
I saw him make a tackle for a loss or something.
Yeah.
I saw from him.
Man, I wasn't. I knew there were cuts, but I really wasn't thinking about it until Doug kind of popped it in there.
Right.
It's got to be some of the obscure names that you saw playing in the last 5 minutes. That's the only way I'm seeing it, man.
I mean,
Because
there's going to be some
Well,
tough cuts.
Mule
there's been
Skinner just
guys
said
like-
in the chat, he just said Artie Burns was horrible. I saw him play in Pittsburgh. Tease Tabor was horrible in Detroit. And here he is making plays, man. You can't just
talk about somebody being bad at a different team. You can't. This is us.
We saw Fetty be absolute garbage in Seattle. When we signed him, I was like, man, Fetty doesn't really help us. And he came out. He didn't ball out, but he held his own. He held his own. Yeah. So, absolutely, Doug. A lot of tough cuts this year.
Is there somebody on the defensive side of the ball that you are hoping sticks? Just a random question, because I know who I've seen and I know who I would love to make the team, because I don't think he would last if we put him on the practice squad. And that's Charles Snowden.
Oh yeah.
That kid is explosive.
I brought him up too in the chat.
Yes. Yeah. Snowden is explosive, man. If he can just,
he's got size
underneath Khalil Mack for the entirety of his time, that kid is going to be special. Because if he didn't get hurt, man, they said in the thing, he looks like maybe he would have went in the 4th or 5th. No, man, I was thinking 2nd or 3rd, watching his tape. He was disruptive. People looked at him and was like, we have to block Snowden. Yeah. He has to be the person we stop. So I'm excited about him. I'm hoping he makes the team. Because, like I said, I don't think he's gonna last. Somebody puts him on the practice squad.
Yeah, he had a sack yesterday too, right?
Yeah.
You know, and that defensive front, man. I mean, that's a solid group. I mean, honestly, we're only talking about 5 cuts right now, right? I mean, and we had the what did we get? We had one fucking game where there wasn't really a lot of drives at the beginning to decide who stays, who goes. So on person, I don't know who I would cut yet. On positional group, I mean, I think we have 14 defensive backs right now, not including the safeties. You know, there's 14 fucking corners, whether they're nickel or outside. There's 7 tight ends, I think, 7 or 8 tight ends in the tight end room right now. There's 15 wide receivers. I mean, those have to be where it starts. You can't get rid of any linemen. You can't get rid of any linemen. Yeah. I mean, because you have too many injury issues there. Yeah.
Those are going to be your last cuts are linemen, going into the season, because, you need all those bodies right now to get you through, and then you worry about it from there.
Yeah, and Neil just put, linebacker, possibly linebacker. Yeah. I mean, I guess
like we said earlier, you got Iggy and Woods who were given every chance to take advantage of take hold of these backup linebacker spots, and they just weren't able to do it. So they went out and they were like, well, if y'all ain't going to take it, we'll sign somebody that will. And Christian Jones and Alec Ogletree have come in and put those backup positions in a headlock. Now, some people are talking about them taking over Danny Trevathan's spot, which I don't see happening. I mean, I'm a biased Kentucky fan, but I mean, this dude just, and they said Trevathan looks better than he did last year. I
don't see him taking over the spot, right? But as the season goes and whatever, load management is definitely a thing. And if you're talking,
I'm definitely more comfortable with either Christian Jones or Alec Ogletree stepping in for an injured. I think it was in the playoff game. Roquan Smith was hurt, and they stuck Josh Woods in there, and it just wasn't pretty. I'd be a lot more comfortable with Christian Jones or Alec Ogletree stepping into that position.
I mean, I think you also, look at it as if Justin Fields.
This is a tough one.
If Justin Fields don't do Justin Fields, if Justin Fields comes out and we're like putting a lot of points up and winning games, the depth is going to be really important to where some of these guys are, where you need guys to fill in for some of your starters. I seen that badge. Go ahead with your. No, I'm not keeping. Well, I don't know. I haven't seen anything. I don't keep him because he's Mac's brother. You know what I mean? I don't keep him for that
I've
reason.
seen that he's turning heads in training camp, and I think he made a play or two yesterday.
I heard his name twice yesterday.
He was on the practice squad last year, right?
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
And I think that's what you'll see this year also. I mean, he's a young
Yeah.
guy. I mean, Khalil Mack's his fucking brother. So, I mean, come on. If at some point you can get even a half of what Khalil Mack is from his brother, you fucking
I was gonna say because I think one play he came off on a blitz or something like that because I know he was in the backfields when they first mentioned his name. But the kid, I think he's playing inside linebacker because of his size, and that's not what he played when he was at Buffalo. So you know what I'm saying, you got to give him the chance to kind of learn that position the right way. But I'm one of the people that's all for if you can play, you can play.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I don't give a damn who you are. I don't care who you related to. If you can play, you can play. And to me, I know a lot of people said that he got signed or whatever because he was Khalil Mack's brother. But to me, when you looked at his tape wasn't really that much different than Travis Gibson's tape to me. He had about the same amount of sacks. The kid wasn't a pushover.
The quality of opponent was different, though, right?
I was gonna say that's probably the biggest thing is you go with the quality of your opponent. But I mean, you look at it again. Khalil Mack played at Buffalo too.
I mean, practice squad, sure. I mean, practice squad, if you want to keep a family fucking tradition and keep him on the practice squad, I just don't think, right, we're not saying keep him on the 53.
No,
right
hell
now,
no. Hell no.
Right.
Dude,
I just had to make sure, man. You know,
right now, my inside linebacker room legit would be Trevathan, Roquan, Christian Jones, and Alec Ogletree. Those are my 4 inside linebackers. I love Josh Woods. Iggy seems like a good person. But you have to go with that experience. You have 2 starters behind your 2 starters. I mean, they're low end. Christian Jones has the time. He started over in Detroit. Alec Ogletree started with the Rams. He started with the Giants. So you have that experience. There's not going to be I come in and it's going to be this serious drop off like how AC was talking about from when Roquan missed in the playoffs. You're not going to see that giant gap. It's going to be okay. He's not Roquan Smith. Roquan Smith, we all can pretty much all be on the same agreement and say the man's all pro, even though they didn't fucking give it to him. His stats spoke for themselves.
Yeah,
he was an all pro linebacker that got snubbed. You have an all pro, then you have the consummate veteran and Danny T, and then you have 2 solid vets who have starting experience. I'm sorry that trumps what the 2 kids got, man. You've been on the team too long. You can't be still learning the position.
Yeah, and I think the gap between Roquan Smith and everybody is pretty big, right? I mean, there's only a couple people in the league
all pro.
That can do that. But I agree, man. I think the backups in those positions have, I mean, in a sense to say, maybe worn out their welcome. And when you change defensive coordinators, you know, when you get a new defensive coordinator, although he's been in the system, but when you change him out, I think sometimes when you keep somebody that's been in the system, those guys stay because of familiarity and not because of talent, because they know the system and whatever, right? And who knows? Some of them are going to stay because of contracts and this and that, right? But I agree. I mean, I wouldn't be all up in arms and pissed off if one of those guys were to go. But I think the way that the defense is built right now, like those are like, that is the foundation. Those are the solid pieces up there. You got your front, that whole front 7 is just ridiculous. And I mean, granted, there's only 5 people that need to be cut, right? Some of these guys are going to be like, who the fuck was that? You know, who is that guy? You know, it might not even make news. You know, like
it's gonna be just like how those commercials are that they sneak on and at 1 and 2 in the morning. If you or a loved one ever took a Zantac pill, call 9-800-RBAD. That is RBAD. That's how that list is gonna come out. It's gonna be 5 names. We all look at it like, who the hell is this dude? What was he on the team? Is he on the
so bench? I don't think it's gonna be that big of a thing. I think honestly, without that 4th preseason game, though, there's a lot of those cuts are going to be harder to make, man. Like from the organization perspective of you don't have like a couple games to work in your season, and then a game to be like, okay, this is make the team game. Like there's fucking 30 of you that might not. So here's your day. Like, go do it. So there's not really a lot of time to do that. And I think that's why some of these practices, if this was last year and you were in your fucking Zoom meetings and all that, this should be so much. You can't even see some of these people and you got to make these cuts. I think this year it might be a little easier, but I think that's why things are getting ramped up a little more in practice and that, because it's a strenuous grading process that has to happen. So
yeah,
what was that?
I'm glad though. I'm glad it's going to be tough. I'd hate for it to be too obvious. You some of these guys are going to have to step in and play at some point, unfortunately. I mean, you guys know it as well as everybody in the chat knows that injuries happen, and it's going to be next man up. You have to have that mentality, and you've got to hope that, when you're Ryan Pace and that scouting staff, if it's not on your roster now, you've got to find it before week 1.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely, man. I mean, there's going to be a lot of shit that has to happen, and who knows? There's still a big question mark at corner. We've seen some of these guys come in and play. I mean, Vildor, I think, is going to hold it down, right? But all the people that are going to be behind them. Somebody made the comment earlier about Roberson. Trey Roberson played good yesterday. There's guys that are coming up from that spot. You don't let Kyle Fuller walk out the door unless you're comfortable with somebody, I would think. Right. And then you bring in some of these other guys who are injury prone or whatever, and they're kind of just there to fill. Go ahead, KB.
I was gonna say, man, speaking of injury prone, I would have loved to see the kid get brought in, but that's just the Madden side of me talking. With Gary Young Conley, I would have loved to see them sign him. Just bring him in because you gotta look at it, his age. Yeah, he's like 24 or some shit. Yeah. And if you could have sat there and told me tomorrow we could have got a healthy Gary Young Conley and Jalen Johnson, and those be your 2 starters, oh, bro, your position's locked down for the next 5 to 6 years. Because Gary Young Conley, when he came back and he played that full season with the Raiders, bro, he was not to be fucked with.
Yeah,
he was holding up in coverage well.
Plus, he went to Ohio State, so he's another big stage guy. But I think the Bears, they see Kendall Vildor in that role.
Yeah,
a lot of people were talking about his size and stuff, but he was. I think I googled it. He's about the same size as Kyle Fuller. So.
I was gonna say people look at Vildor like he's 5'8"
he looks
or some
smaller
shit.
than Kyle Fuller, but he's like the same size as him. And they said that they're having difficulty hiding how excited they are about his progress. Now,
if he can chop Desmond Trufant's knees from underneath him and take the starting spot, 100% down with that, bro. Go get that spot, man. Because if you as good as Desmond Trufant used to be, Desmond Trufant, bro, Kendall Vildor and Jalen Johnson both starting. You already had a hell of a draft. Now you're just looking even better.
I mean, look at all these picks
yesterday, right? Did Trufant play?
I haven't heard a word about.
No,
Trufant
I don't think he played.
Yeah,
I just don't heard a single word. Read an article.
I said it. Yeah, in the offseason when they signed him, I was like, this is a guy that I don't think is going to stick around here unless he's somebody that can compete at the nickel spot. That's the only way I could see him sticking around. To me, I was a little surprised to see Jalen Johnson play yesterday. I would have rather seen Trufant out there than Jalen Johnson, but it is what it is.
Yeah, but doesn't he have another soft tissue deal going on?
Trufant, I believe he probably didn't play because of a groin injury, I think is what it is.
Yeah. I thought so. I mean, so AC, since we all know that every show on the Barroom Network is AC and the other guy's show, you are Matt Nagy, and we're back at practice tomorrow.
I mean, you're getting this.
What are we working on? What do we have to fix? I know we're talking about a lot of good things that happened. What is something that you think that we definitely need to work on, and what are your negatives takeaways from the game?
ball security, I guess. I mean, we didn't have turnovers, but we saw the ball get put on the ground, and we saw tip drill that didn't turn out well for the Dolphins. So that's something I'm going to work on. I don't remember what the drill's called, where they're running through and it's got everybody's hitting at the ball.
Yeah.
Tackling drills, because until yesterday, people weren't really hitting. You know what I'm saying? And tip drills for our defense. We saw a pick, but I'd love to see more interceptions. That's Sean Desai. That seems to be his thing. I don't know if you guys saw his little video clip. I think the Bears put it out there on their Twitter, where he was talking about, you talk about being obsessed. He's obsessed with turnovers, because that's all he was talking about for most of the clips, was like, we got to get that ball, get your hands on that ball, pick it up.
And now they got the ball bucket.
Yeah, slam dunking.
Yeah. What about you, KB? What are you working on? And I seen Doug's comment in the chat. Route running, wide receivers was definitely going to be something that I touched on. And then there's the last one. That's exactly why the wide receivers, especially, there was really no separation. And when I watched Dalton throw the ball, I kind of knew where it was going. I felt like he's a key in, wait for that one step and then throw. It wasn't that way with Fields, but it was that way with Dalton. What would you fix, Kibby?
The separation is a big thing. I was gonna go off of what AC said. Ball control. I mean, we can. He said it himself. Fields said, "I'm probably not going to do the spin again." And but just in making the right decisions, you hit one bad pass, but that was it. Wide receiver separation's got to be a big one, man. Route running, because like I said, nobody was actually getting open. Now, I was looking at it at some points, and I was just like, man, these Dolphins fucking corners are all over our dudes. Like, nobody's getting away from these dudes right now.
I mean, granted, it's not like they're not a worthy. It's not like the Dolphins defense isn't, I would say, a worthy foe. They led the league in turnovers last year. They had the most turnovers for a team last year, and they were like the 6th defense. So it was a pretty good test, right? But I agree. Yeah.
No, sir, they are definitely solid. And like I said, when they were man to man, they were on us. Like, this shit was crazy.
Yeah.
I think, but like I said, the biggest things to me, you looking at the route running, try to get more separation. You can always do good with ball security, and just keep the practicing up on tackling.
Yeah.
Those would be my 3 big things.
Yeah. Badge, I'll come to you in a second, man. So mine we're kind of the same. The wide receiver, route running, right? The defense, it was second string, the second team front, but Gibson made a couple of bad angles. At the beginning, he kind of left gaps and had some bad angles. I get that Jacoby Brissett is a bigger quarterback, but if you got this dude wrapped around the legs, he should be on the ground, I feel. And then the second part with the first string was, I felt like there was a couple times if the defensive line would just throw their fucking paws up in the air, some of those little dinks wouldn't have made it. But who knows? Maybe it's my angle, maybe it's where I was, right? But all in all, I mean, that's really the only things. The wide receiver, I mean, let's face it. Like, I think Mule said Dalton looked stiff. The whole first fucking 2 drives looked shit. It just looked like it was, I don't know, just like a regular old style Nagy and Mitch, and like, 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out. I think we had 15 fucking plays, 16 plays before we got a first down. You know what I mean? So I agree with like what Neil's putting in the chat, and everybody who's at the game, like how the place just kind of erupted, and there was a new energy, a new feeling when Fields came in. And granted, the first one for him wasn't that great either, but I just think that it's like, I don't like the beginning was like, okay, here we go, fuck, whatever. Here's Pat O'Donnell, great punt. I hate saying I hate saying great punt, because punts aren't fucking exciting. Like, Great punt. Yeah, cool. Good job, man. You know, but
Dude,
like,
he had a fucking boomer yesterday, though.
yeah,
Yeah,
but
he
like
did.
I was saying, like if we're talking about how great a punt was, like the season's fucked. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
let's not. I mean, granted, there's times where you can be like, yeah, that was fucking awesome. Coffin corner kick, boom, bounce out of bounds, great. Even though that didn't happen, I'm just saying that would be like one of those times. But you know, when you 5-3 and outs, and yeah, the 15 scripted plays. I mean, that's they were shit. So your game plan was shit, and Fields saved your fucking ass by making shit happen. That's my concern. And maybe it wouldn't be so much Nagy talking to them. It'd be Pace talking to Nagy like, yo, how did we on the plays that are supposed to be your bread and butter, your scripted of how you've studied this defense and how you're going to attack this team were the worst fucking plays.
But to their, you know what I'm saying, go against what it is. A lot of the plays look like slants and swing routes. You didn't see any shots down the field by Dalton. It was okay, just like I said before. He came in and his job was to get the ball out quick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
like I get it. I think one of the worst things that could probably happen in Nagy's head is I put Dalton out there and I try to get creative, and Dalton gets hurt.
Yeah.
Like I think fans would probably be like, oh, I mean, so that means it's Fields time, right?
Right.
But in Nagy's head, it's okay. We brought this dude in. He's supposed to play. He's gonna be there first. Like it's his job to lose, even though we know he's gonna lose. But it's, whatever. But I think that's what the plan is. Come in, let him get a feel for throwing the ball, just to get on the same wavelength with everybody else. Get the ball out quick. That's why I was like, it wasn't nothing bad, but it just wasn't good.
It's quite possible Nagy had no fucking confidence in the offensive line at the beginning of the game either. And then they started playing well, and he was like, oh, well, hey, they're doing all right. Like, let's go ahead and roll it. I mean, in a presser last week with Nagy, they asked him like the same thing we talked about 2 weeks ago, or we talked about on the show before they even had the presser was, are you comfortable putting Justin Fields behind this basic plug and play offensive line that you have right now? And he's like, well, honestly, and I thought it was a good answer. He's like, what? Like, why would I be comfortable putting anybody behind there? I don't want to see anybody get hurt. You know what I mean? Like, so we just have to have what, do with what we have and go from there and kind of, scheme the plays. If that's a weakness when the game starts, to scheme the plays away from it. But those dudes showed up, man. I don't think it was an issue. Badge, what about you, man? What are you fixing or what's your, your talk this morning about the game yesterday?
I think normally I would, if this was a regular season game, to me, the Bears over the course of the last, I don't know, let's go with 3 head coaches just for substance. The 15 scripted plays that these offensive coordinators come out with over the last 3 head coaches are fucking shit. I mean, the offense rarely does anything in the first half under Nagy. It's, the Tampa Bay game is the one fucking game we can all point to in 18 where there was an offensive explosion. It's a preseason game, so my mentality didn't go there. Sitting here watching it, watching Dalton go 3 and out, and then they get 1 first down and boom, they're done. I definitely noticed the route running as well. I mean, he's trying to run RPOs, and you've got a linebacker all over the wideout, and you still got to throw the ball there because you got to get rid of it quick. Mm-hmm. And I mean, there was no separation for some of those guys. I get it that they're second team guys, but look at what happens when you put a quarterback out there who's been playing with those guys all camp long, and how comfortable Justin Fields looked. I mean, that ball to Rodney Adams. Yeah, Rodney Adams had made a great catch because it was a little bit behind him on that fade, but that's him being comfortable with these guys, and he's I mean, we're talking about guys here in
he even
camp
said that.
Yeah, I was going to say.
I mean, that have never even been a name before.
Yeah,
a Rodney Adams, a John.
I love that
Johnson.
answer. Yeah, I love that answer too. When they say, "What did you see on that Rodney Adams play?" He's like, "I seen one-on-one coverage, and I know Rodney knows how to go up and get a ball, so I threw it up."
Yeah,
Like, that's a great
he was
answer.
the first interview after the game ended. Rodney Adams yesterday.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Rodney Adams is what's pushing Williams off this roster. And
Yeah,
if Ridley don't get his stuff together, it might push him off too.
Yeah, Ridley's another one that Nagy was specifically asked about last week. And he's like, look, he knows what he needs to do, and he needs to string them together, and he just isn't. Like, he'll have a great play. Yeah, he'll have a great play, and then he'll have a bad one. And he's like, we love his attitude, love what he brings, because what else is he going to say, right? But he basically kind of called him out, and saying, like, he just needs to put plays together, and he's not doing it.
Yeah. The offense at the start of the game didn't look great, but the 2-minute drill was excellent. And
get points right before the half.
And then we came out of the half and moved the ball down the field.
I was saying the funny thing was it was to the people that we're saying we sitting here we talking about. It was Rodney Adams, and it was Jesse James.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So if we're in a game situation, you're down 3, you got the ball with a minute and a half. I would trust Justin Fields to move us down the field and at the very least get us in position to tie the ball game. I don't know if I feel that way about Dalton. I don't make the decisions, but I don't know if I feel that way about Dalton from what I saw yesterday. Now,
I'm going to say,
granted, we didn't have Allen Robinson, but
yeah, I think if you have Justin Fields in the game, you're not playing for a field goal. You're going for 7 because you can get it. If it's Andy Dalton, you're playing for a field goal. I mean, just like Mitch, you knew if Mitch was in the game, they were just playing to get in field goal range and hoping, you saw it in the freaking double doink. Let's just get in field goal range. Fuck it. We'll tie it. Go to overtime.
Well, they tried to throw a touchdown before that play, and Mitch overthrew Anthony Miller, I think it was, in the end zone.
Yeah.
So they tried to go for the win, and it did not work.
Yeah. I get all the Ridley talk, and everybody that wants him to be great, and at least hold a little something that his brother brings, right? But I mean, we talked about this last year. He was being like ridiculed in fucking the wide receiver room and tape breakdown and constantly being corrected. And that was like a lot of the reason why he wasn't seeing the field last year.
And he was rolling around with the haymaker throwers, Anthony Miller and Javon Wims, and I don't think that set a good precedence for him either.
Yeah, and I think the whole team. I know Doug said Fields has comfort level. I think the coaches believe in this kid too. They have a lot of confidence in him, but I mean, there's only so often, right? That mistake after mistake. How many times can you get corrected and not fix it? And I think that's what it's coming down to.
That had the offsides penalties at wide receiver, Wims and Ridley yesterday. You didn't see any of those other young guys fucking.
They're not going to babysit. He's either going to do his job or he's going to be looking for another one. Yeah. And I hate to say I had high hopes for Ridley. I liked him in Georgia, and I loved the draft pick. Our guy Terrence, who came on with us, was the guy who announced the draft pick. And but he just, I don't know, man. Some guys just don't get it.
Yeah, agreed. All right, so I mean, let's roll in with next week. We got the Bills coming to town. I'm gonna watch the Bills game today. And go back over that, depending on how long my wife's out of the house. But sometime this week I'm gonna get it in before the game. But I guess this is just we'll see how this.
Are you still talking about the Bills game, or are you talking about?
both of them, but it's another preseason game. It's another measuring stick. I'd really like to see some of these guys take the field in Roquan and A-Rob, seeing that this is really might be the only time that they get some preseason work in. And I don't know. I guess they'll probably start Dalton again is what I'm thinking, just so Fields gets more time. But I'm not really. I think
they play into the second quarter, the first team offense.
I think week 1 starter's still up in the air, though. I mean, it kind of has to
you
be.
mean, or
Yeah. I mean, is this the flip? Does it change now, or?
I think you're going to see Dalton play the first quarter, and then I think you're going to see Fields come in to start the second, depending on where the offense is. I mean, if Dalton's in and he's driving them down the field and the quarter ends and they've got a chance to score, I think Dalton stays in. But I think you're going to see the first team offense play the whole entire first half, and one quarter is going to be Andy Dalton and the other quarter is going to be Justin Fields. And I really believe Bears coaching staff and front office needs to see him with the first team to really make a concerned effort to find out if this guy is going to start week 1. I know they're saying out in the open, no. They're giving him all these reps because they want to see what he can do and if he's ready to take this team week 1. And you can, I mean, the way Nagy walked into that presser yesterday,
Yeah,
you knew, like I said,
that tune flipped.
Yeah, man. I just think you're going to see them, and I think Fields plays into the third quarter. Foles will wrap it up just like, yesterday. But I think you're going to find out after this week, and you're going to see it after this week, that Justin Fields is probably going to be stealing those first team reps after this next game. Nothing against Andy Dalton. I have nothing against Andy Dalton.
No, I mean,
I really don't. But this is a situation that, I mean, you saw the other quarterbacks yesterday.
Yeah.
That played. KB's got the jersey on. I mean, this is something as big as, I don't know. I mean, it's fucking big. Like the city, the fans, all around the world are.
It's a different. It's a different feel, though, isn't it? I don't feel like there's a quarterback controversy. I don't
either.
And it's a different feel than like last year or years prior where they're like, who's it going to be? Who's this guy is Mitch is the starter. Mitch is the starter, whatever, right? It's a different feel to it all, to where you're like, yeah, we know who the fucking starter is. Like, it's a matter of time and a matter of let's see what this kid does in real situations, which we had our first experience yesterday, right? And then I think the choice is made, but it's just like I said earlier, it was a matter of not wanting to put everything on this kid's shoulders right away and make him go out there and fucking do it, And yeah, I agree. I mean, Dalton is a good backup. Dalton's a solid piece. I'm not mad at him in any reason. He knows that fucking Fields is better. Like, he don't give a fuck. He's like, give me my 10 mil. Like, I'll tell this kid whatever the fuck you want me to tell him. Like, and from there, I think it's just, honestly, if he comes out next week and does this again, and then the week after is just all Foles, if he doesn't fucking start in LA week 1, there's going to be a lot of shit coming fucking Nagy's way and all that about job security, trying to save his job, trying to do this, that, and whatever, man.
Yeah, I totally agree, man. I love this comment here from I Am Skokes. That's kind of what that was the feel like to me, I think, is something along those lines. I almost initially, the first thought that popped in my head was Michael Jordan returning. And I couldn't say that because he's the fucking GOAT. So
with the 4-5,
yeah. Fuck all you LeBron
back like
fans.
Jordan wearing the 4-5.
Yo, LeBron though. Look, I'm not a LeBron fan at all.
Hey, he's shouting the boy out.
LeBron was shouting out Fields, and Fields was actually asked about it in the thing yesterday. And they're like, "How do you feel about LeBron James shouting out?" He's like, "Well, to get a shout out from him is great. In his caliber of a player and athlete and whatever, right?" And I'm not a LeBron hater. LeBron's a great fucking athlete. 100%, hands down. The dude's a great fucking athlete. I'm a hater of the people who say he's better than Jordan. Yeah. It's not against LeBron. I'm not against LeBron. LeBron does great. Right. I think the people who say he's better than Jordan are the fucking idiots. But that's just me, and whatever. So I don't hold any grudges against LeBron because of that.
I do. God damn it! I hold all the grudges against that man.
How is it his fault?
All four of us are in agreement that Jordan is better than LeBron.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
But it's a completely different era. I was watching Danny and Aldo after the game, and Danny was like, "Well, I found something about Justin Fields I don't like," and he's a LeBron fan. And I was like, LeBron was drafted in 2003. I mean, so that's all Justin Fields is known. You know what I'm saying? He probably wasn't even born when Jordan was out. I mean, he probably knows
he said
shoes.
Yeah, he said when he was a kid, he had a LeBron poster in his room.
Yeah. He probably knows about Jordan's shoes, but there's no way he saw him dominate. He might have saw him with the Wizards, which that was not. I mean,
let's not talk about that.
That's almost that's the damn caveat that damn Nick Wright uses to try to glorify this LeBron talk. Well, Jordan played with the Wizards and he was shut the hell up, Nick Wright.
I just saw Jordan playing ball with Tom Brady down in Tampa, right? Jordan's what, 55 now?
Yeah, he old shit.
He's up there.
Something like that. Dude, he would still kick everybody's ass in the NBA.
Yo, dude, still got the jumper, bro.
I'm pretty certain it was fake.
Everybody.
I'm pretty certain it was fake, and I don't know how. I mean, we just went off the rails here, but I'm pretty certain it was fake. But did you see like that one comment thing where it's like a reporter asked Jordan, how if his 90s team played against LeBron how much would they win by, or would they win and by how much? And Jordan said, yeah, we'd win by at least 3 or 4. And they're like, 3 or 4, that's it? And he's like, well, we're all 60 now.
I think that shit was real.
That sounds like something Jordan would say.
Oh my God.
Larry, exactly, man.
Yeah, Laro getting back at it.
Hey, Jordan, to me, he's the GOAT, man. There's no question about it. But I'm just saying.
I love some bull stock too. Shit. Maybe
especially right now. Ooh. Ooh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right, man. Let's wrap this thing up. I mean, I think everybody's on some, it's all some high notes right now, right? We came in last week. We were all worried about the offensive line, whatever. We proved that we're the beaten dog, and we're Chicago fucking football fans, and we're always worried about the offensive line, no matter what. And they still played. I thought they played great. They did what they had to do. They played great. There's pace. And all in all, it was all in all, it was a great start to this season. Maybe not a great start to the game, but eventually a great start to the season and the potential that we've seen. And I think, from here, it's just to build on it, and to keep going and to like they say, string these things together, string these wins together, and come out prime time. First game, prime time, and we'll see who takes that fucking first snap.
He scares me from there. Doug. Jordan Love, he just scares me.
I didn't watch them play, so I have no idea.
I can speak on that a little bit. I can speak on it a little bit because the one thing I will say about last night, to me, it was a great showing for all the young quarterbacks, except Mills and Kellen Mond. We dodged the bullet with Kellen Mond. I will be the first to eat my words on that, saying I believed in the kid. He looked complete ass with the Vikings yesterday. I don't know if it was just the defense they were playing.
The Vikings completely. The whole team looks
terrible. God, they looked horrible.
Awful.
But Trey Lance had a beautiful pass yesterday. The Sherfield kid fucking just left whoever the hell he was defending, and it was on the rope. So he looked nice. Got to see Trevor Lawrence play. Of course, I was super geeked because my cousin was a part of that first sack. That was pretty fucking fun to watch.
Shout him out. Get it.
Oh yeah, Andrew Billings. We gotta be lightweight Cleveland Brown fans, even though we don't want to be Cleveland Brown fans.
Hey, tell them we need some tickets, bro. Come on.
I'm gonna hit him up on it. Hey man, listen, I'm gonna need a few of these tickets, dog, to watch the Bears play, y'all. I'm gonna need it. But Trevor
maybe that's
Lawrence
the game we all need to go to.
Go to the Cleveland. Hell yeah.
Yo, I'm highly thinking about it because Aldo and Wire are going.
Cleveland.
So
shit.
It's a 5-hour drive for me, so I'm kind of.
Really... I'm gonna reach out. I'm gonna reach out and see what we done, man.
All right.
November 26th.
we had that game. Trevor Lawrence made a few good passes in that game. He still took a couple sacks. So did Lance. Lance took 4. Wilson looked decent. Both him and Lance went 6 for 9. I believe fucking Wilson he was a little bit more effective looking to me. Very, very, very fucking precise in where he was going to. He felt like he had a little control of the offense. Jordan Love. He looked decent. I'll give him that. His touchdown did come off the screen pass. He looked decent in the pocket. It didn't look like he had happy feet. He didn't look like Mitch in the pocket. I give him that. But to me, last night was a great barometer of what you can see this league's future becoming. It was a wonderful day to watch these young quarterbacks. I'm not gonna shit on Jordan Love just because he's a Packers player. You know what I'm saying? Good job for him. If when Rodgers leaves next year and he becomes a starter, we could be looking at next year it being Jared Goff, whoever the hell is gonna be the quarterback in Minnesota, Fields and Jordan Love. And you can look across the league. The entirety of the landscape is starting to change. It's starting to transition to these younger cats coming up. And you're going to start to see who the hell is going to be more hungry. Yeah. So it was a great day yesterday for the quarterbacks. Like I said, Jordan Love did not look bad.
I mean, he did. Young quarterbacks. Drew Lock in
Lock looked amazing.
Wait, Bobby, you're muted.
Section 109, 4 seats are right next to each other behind the visiting bench. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, yeah. Just send that to me. I'm going to send this to my cousin.
Yeah, how much are
I need these 4. Can't we make it happen?
Dude, those are on Ticketmaster. Those aren't part of his, his
allotment.
Yeah, his field tickets or whatever you want to call them. Sorry, man. Go ahead.
But yeah, but you kind of started to get to see what the landscape might be, man. Drew Lock looked amazing yesterday. The 2 touchdowns. I mean, his receiving cast and their entirety of their offensive weapons is nasty.
Yeah, his deep ball to the one I was like, damn.
KJ Hamler. Oh my God, Hamler, bro. Yeah. Hamler destroyed his man. Yeah. And it was that ball was on a fucking tightrope. Drew Lock is Jay Cutler 2.0. They're the same fucking person.
Hey, I said that when he was coming out of Missouri.
Yes, they are the same fucking person, man. But it gives you hope, man. It's starting to be this transition, and that's all it is. Like I said, I'm not gonna hate on Jordan Love just because he's a Packer. I'm excited. I'm excited to see
changing of the guard, man.
Right. Yeah, it's the changing of the guard, man.
You got Brady about to be out. Rodgers toward the end. Breeze just left.
You got Kyle Trask backing up Brady. So who knows? It might be a world where Kyle Trask becomes the Tampa Bay quarterback and he's the future for Tampa Bay. You know, it's all of these young cats. Exactly. It's all these young cats coming up, man. It's fun to watch because you look at it. Hell, Justin Fields could be the best on the fucking bench.
Baby.
Could be.
You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, Brady's just gonna keep winning Super Bowls. Oh, Aaron Rodgers, no, man. It's these new cats, man. And like I said, last night Justin Fields was the best rookie quarterback. He was the best looking young quarterback. It was that simple.
Yeah, all I saw was the numbers. They didn't show the Trevor Lawrence game here. They showed the Saints game instead. But when I saw the numbers, I think Mac Jones put up like 78 yards. He didn't even put up a touchdown or anything.
He looked effective in running the offense.
I saw the one Lawrence pass to I think it was
Marvin
Jones, and that was on point. I didn't see anything about Zach Wilson except for when he entered the game and someone called him the face of the franchise. I think he had a do-rag on or something. I don't know what the hell that was about.
That damn tie.
I saw it on Instagram and everybody
getting
was
his
like,
waves going, man. Don't hate. He's just trying to get the waves going.
Hey, man, do you, baby? Do you?
Yeah. Do you with the do-rag?
Draft night, I've never seen somebody so uncomfortable standing on a stage in all my life.
Buddy, yeah. He went to BYU.
He still looks senior. But I mean, man, it's It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be fun to watch, man. All these young kids, it's gonna be fun to watch,
guys. An extra game. I mean, I'm ready to get to the season. Like, yeah, preseason's fun, but we live for these weekly freaking shows and
Yes,
these
sir.
weekly battles, and whatnot. So, I'm excited, man. I wanted to give are we good to do shout outs?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. Go ahead, kick it.
So first of all, huge shout out to Greg Braggs. I mean, the guy just continues to be the best. I know there's other folks out there grabbing video and stuff, and kudos, you guys are all doing a great job, man. But Braggs has been doing this for over a decade, I think now, and he has mastered capturing video like nobody else does it from the stands and
on his phone.
Yeah, I mean, he's absolutely does an amazing job. Kudos to him again for bringing great footage. Kudos to Andy Dalton. Greg also caught an interaction between Andy Dalton and a child with Make-A-Wish yesterday. And that to me is, that's the type of stuff that a lot of people don't see. Here's a guy who it's his first year with a new team, first year with the Bears. And he's already, it's the first week of the preseason and he's already, interacting with, a child that, probably needs that comfort right at this time in their life. And you know me, I mean, that kind of stuff, man. I just love that shit. And the fact that Braggs caught that interaction and stuff was awesome. Kudos to Andy Dalton. I'm definitely going to try to reach out to see if we can get him a badge of honor as well and stuff like that. So, Braggs, Andy Dalton.
I mean, when Sports Illustrated is taking your videos and sharing them,
dude.
I mean, that's what they're doing. Yeah. They're taking Braggs' videos and they're tagging him though. I mean, they're keeping it real, but I'm saying when Sports Illustrated is taking your videos, you're doing something right.
He needs to send his resume into ESPN or the Bears to be on their media team or something because he does better than they do, man. I followed Braggs for years. I found him on Instagram years ago. I just searched. I think the Bears were in training camp, and I was like, I live in Kentucky, y'all. So I just searched Bears training camp, and I started finding videos, and I was like, oh wow, this is all from the same guy. And I followed him, and ever since then, he's been my go-to. And definitely shout out to Braggsy. Shout out to Android for his amazing camera work because they've got the best cameras on the market.
Christ,
I mean, I'm just spitting facts.
Who the fuck is this guy?
If you look it up, Android has a better camera than iPhone. That's just
facts. That is facts.
Oh, stop it,
motherfucker! Didn't your phone just shit on you 3 times during this show when you couldn't even see it?
That was the laptop. Get the game right. The phone was coming in clutch.
Yes, he is, man. He's a phenomenal person. Greg really is a phenomenal person, man.
KB, you got shout outs before?
I'm going to make shout outs real quick because my phone for the fuck around and die. I was going to say, man, shout out to the boy Justin Fields, man, for coming in and putting on the show like we wanted to see. Shout out to Andy Dalton too, man, because like I said, you got to think that Justin Fields and all these other people are in a tough position. Just imagine being Dalton and knowing that that's what's going on and knowing that you're going to lose your job to somebody. I mean, you took the job.
What the hell?
Yeah, he's gone.
He's gone. Speaking of phones, he was backing up all that shit. Yeah, AC, say what now? Say what? No.
Hey, I can't speak for him. I'm at 81%, and I've been on YouTube all morning, so I mean, I don't know what he's rocking with, but
yeah.
And my phone shoots video in 8K. I don't want to start no shit, but my phone ain't got that.
Hey, so just to wrap it all up, yeah, Greg is a great fucking dude, man. Known him for a few years now, hung out with him multiple times. Great fucking guy, and always 100% in everything, dude. So
shout out to the chat, man. They had it on.
Yeah, chat. You guys are on fire today. Doug's on fire all day. Skokes is on fire. Like, there's a lot of good talk back and forth, man. And we appreciate you guys joining us. Shout out to everybody who got to see the takeover, who got to see the Prince take the field yesterday. And and I feel like, without the quarterback controversy this year, like we had last year, without all the fucking hate of Leno and fire this guy, fire that guy, right? I feel like this year, everybody is just a different mentality in Bears football, right? And I feel like we had zero drama last year. There's really been no drama whatsoever. And honestly, that's just all kudos to the people and everybody on the Barroom Network. And, they had our fantasy draft last night. I did not attend, although I drafted, I did not attend. So that's up and live. And, that's out there. And then just all the other stuff that's coming for the Barroom in the future and shows and Fantasy Football Goon. He's coming up. Joe's got his stuff ready to go, and his what's he call himself, the fucking fantasy wizard or something. But but all that, man. Check everything out on the Barroom.
Hey, we were talking Bulls.
Laro
had a show last night right after our draft. I mean, he was burning the midnight oil last night.
I mean, and that's just another Chicago team that's like, it's on the come up too. I mean, there was some great fucking moves done. Yeah. So get yourself a golden hour.
Shitty Cubs.
Yeah, fuck the Cubs.
I mean,
get yourself a golden hour.
If you want to come cry about the Cubs with me, we can watch the friendly confines or the unfriendly confines. They sold the team for some reason. They act like there's a salary cap or something. I don't know what the hell is going on with the Cubs.
I mean, you got the friendly confines, you got the South Burbs Hitmen, you got Fantasy Football Goon. There's
Black
everything
shows,
covered.
Man.
Yeah, with Vinny. I mean,
sports is covered right here on Barroom, man.
Yeah, 100%. And like we said earlier, appreciate all you guys joining us in the chat. Thanks for keeping it going, man. It's a lot of fire today. And I know we said it last week, and we said it at the beginning of the show. If you're at the game, during the season or even during preseason, and we're live, fucking hit us up, man. We'll just bring you as a live reporter from the field. And you don't have to report football. You fucking show us your tailgate, do a fucking, keg stand or some shit. Take a shot, whatever, man. It's all fun.
Wait, did I say that?
and we'll go from there, man. But greatly appreciate everybody. And I think that's it. We good?
Hell yeah, bro.
All right, we're gonna leave this thing. It was a Field of Dreams week for the White Sox, for the Fields taking the field, just a Field of Dreams week, and I can't wait to see what's
that White Sox finish was awesome.
See, that's the team you should cheer for. Fuck the Cubs.
If they get to the series, I'm pulling for them.
Damn straight. All right, we're gonna leave you all with a big fat ass bear down.
Bear down.